Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be about this TikTok drama that has been ensuing and brewing for the past few days, and I just really want to talk about it. I know I haven't been on my channel in a very long time, but quite frankly, there's two reasons why, and those are pretty much the only reasons. One is that I work a lot. I've been working pretty much non-stop, so I don't really have the time nor the energy to put into videos as much as I used to. And number two, I didn't have videos that I really wanted to make. I didn't have topics that I really wanted to discuss. So with those two reasons, it just didn't feel right to try to force myself to make videos. But this topic right now that we have right here, this issue, this drama, this I need to talk about. So before I do get into it, please go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I don't know if I'll make another video if there's any more drama with this whole situation, but if there is, do subscribe so that you can stay up to date and turn on the post notifications so that you're notified of the next time that I post a video, and follow me on Twitter. My Twitter will be in the description below, and I do follow back. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into the video. So let me just start off by giving you context as to who even these people are. So on TikTok, there's a community of creators that are very much social justice warriors, to put it quite frankly. They're the people that are always going to check others about their privilege, about their racism, about their misogyny, whatever the case may be, and create entire platforms off of activism and being social justice warriors. One of these main figures is a creator that goes by Modern Warrior. His name is actually Lance Sosi, and he is an indigenous creator who makes a lot of content not only about indigenous issues, but also just about racism in general and things of that nature. I personally have seen his videos a lot, and he's a very recognizable creator for me, especially because those aren't the only videos that I watch on TikTok, because quite frankly, if those were the only videos that came up on my For You page, I would literally not have TikTok, because that is exhausting. But I do dabble in that community, so they do come up on my For You page, or, you know, certain things that he said will come up on my For You page. So I've known of this creator for quite a while now, if I'm being honest, and I've never liked him. Number one, I've never really liked people who make their entire platforms off of like their identity politics. I know that sounds, I don't know, that might sound jarring for a lot of people watching this, but it's true. I just don't like when people make their entire platforms off of their identity politics, and he is a perfect example of someone that I literally cannot watch. But neither here nor there. My opinion of his content doesn't really matter, except it kind of does, because it'll come into play later. But anyways, one thing that to note about Lance Sosi is that he starts off his videos in this fashion, and I want you to just take note of this, and then it'll come into play later, I promise.
Hey, colonizer.
So that's how he opens most of his videos. And it's actually his brand, like it's in his bio, hey colonizer, right? So clearly Lance is kind of a very he takes an aggressive approach to his activism and all his content. It's a very kind of aggressive form of content. And yeah, that's basically, it is what it is. So flash forward to a few days ago. Apparently Lance had posted a video. This is just what I'm getting from all of the content that I've consumed about the situation. But Lance posted a video and he was on a date with a woman, right? Next thing you know, another creator on the platform who also has millions of followers, or at least I think 1 million followers, she makes a video saying that Lance basically was dating her and was dating another woman at the same time, and she didn't know. So basically Lance was cheating on her. Lance cheated on her. Lance dogged her out. She talked about how she went to Utah. She took a flight to Utah or Colorado or wherever he lives. And I'm pretty sure she's from Alaska, so that was a ticket, child. She was flying herself out to go see this man. And they had unprotected sex, and then she left, and I guess he had posted that video, that TikTok, like right after she left. Like literally right after she left, and he went on a date with another woman, and she was angry about it. Let's just put it that way. She was very upset that he went on a date with another woman and posted about it on TikTok. And she took to TikTok and she had something to say. So let me just show you who the woman that I'm talking about is. So this is Chelsea. Hey, colonizer. I can't make this stuff up, man. I wish I could make it up. This is a white woman who lives in Alaska. So, I mean, the kind of definition of colonizer, right? Am I wrong or am I right? This is the woman that was crying over Lance Sosi. And she was irate about the fact that he went on a date with another woman. Now, let's just talk about Chelsea. Chelsea is also one of these creators that is very much about identity politics, very much about activism, or whatever activism is in this day and age, because, I mean, who knows at this point. And she posted this video and it kind of blew up, and she talked about her situation with Lance and basically how he's a cheater. So then Lance goes on to apologize, and basically, you know, on his TikTok is just like, hey, like, I apologize for the miscommunication, basically whatever. You know how men apologize when they cheat. That's how he apologized. I'm not even going to go into detail because, quite frankly, that apology really didn't matter. But she ended up stitching it. And this is what she had to say about Lance. Now, this video, I think, is really when the drama started to blow up and become more of just a cheating scandal. Okay, so I really need you to watch this video. I'm not going to put many other videos in here, even though there have been so many videos made in so many different parties, but I don't really want to include that many videos because they're all kind of saying the same thing. But I think that this video that I'm going to show you now that she posted, it really sums up a lot about what the situation is truly about as far as, you know, Chelsea is concerned and the other women involved, which we will get into the other women involved later.
Hello, beautiful people. I just want to take a second to apologize to Chelsea. I'm very sorry that our friendship has come to this. I'm very sorry for not being the effective communicator that I wanted to be.
I may be pregnant with your child, and you are apologizing for your communication. I have an ache that lives deep in my womb, Lance. And sometimes I just cry from my soul about it. And I sent you so many messages opening up to you about that. You knew. You knew. You fucking knew. You fucking knew. I never would have opened up my body that intimately to you. With the trauma that gives me anxiety attacks, my anxiety that manifests in my stomach and I puke. From that trauma, I still puke. I still feel nausea multiple times enough from the anxiety and the trigger responses from that experience. And you knew the whole time. Don't you dare try to apologize for your communication. Why don't you apologize for taking advantage of my vulnerability to get in my pants? You knew I never would have ever slept with you without a condom had I known what was going on. I found out on TikTok. Lance.
Okay, so I'm just going to say this now. This video is not really going to be about Lance. As crazy as that may seem, there are bigger issues in play here that really don't have anything to do with Lance cheating, okay? Because that's what this all comes down to. But I will address his actions right now. Number one, he's a dog. Duh. Like, that's just wrong and gross of you to lead this woman on for as long as you let her on, and then go on a date with another woman and post about it on your TikTok with 3 million plus followers at the time. You going on a date as soon as she leaves? That's gross. Like, sorry, that's nasty. Like, you're gross. You're a disgusting human being. Period. Point blank. Period. And what's even funnier is that Chelsea is not the only woman involved. Lance, at the same time as he was talking to Chelsea, was also talking to various other different white women, apparently up to at least 5 different women, who, by the way, all look pretty much just like Chelsea. It's insane how much of a type he has. Like, there's very little variation with these women. So for someone who is starting off all of his videos with "Hey colonizer" to only date white women is insanity. Like, that is insane to me, and that speaks volumes to how performative these people are. Like, they will decolonize your mind, but they won't decolonize their own. Now, am I saying that he's not allowed to date white women? Of course not. But if you're only dating white women, that's clearly a preference, and you clearly don't like you clearly have a preference, and that's clearly a problem. You get what I'm saying? Like, your mind has not been decolonized. Or maybe it's all for show, and maybe you know what you're doing, and maybe you are just a social justice warrior for clout, which is probably what it is. Because all of these people, they will say things so aggressively and with so much passion behind it, but none of it makes sense. Like, some of the things that I've heard him say on this app, I'm sorry, are absolutely absurd. And to start your videos with "Hey colonizer," it's a very aggressive form of activism that's really not going to get you anywhere, because a lot of the people that you're trying to decolonize their minds, they're not going to want to hear that they're colonizers. You're preaching to the choir if you start your videos off like that. So it's just very hilarious to me that this guy goes out of his ways to say "Hey colonizer" in all of his videos and make all these videos about white privilege and racism and things like that, which are very important topics that do need to be addressed. But you're going in behind the scenes. You have all of these white women, in the palm of your hand. And not only that, but as someone who is all about, morals and all about standing on both feet and always all about being a good person at all time, and honestly about policing other people, because a lot of the times that's what these people do, is they police other people and police how they act and police this and police that. And some things don't need to be policed the way that these people do it. So for someone who does all of that and who is the morality person, who should be a moral compass, for someone to do that and then turns out he's like a super cheater, like, come on. It's just funny to me, and it screams fake, and it screams phony, and it screams what I knew all along, which was that this person was not someone to be trusted. Now, let's get to the main person who I actually want to talk about in this video. As crazy as it may seem, this video is really about Chelsea, because she has made numerous claims that I feel like are inflammatory and are downright false. And I refuse to just let her go on with her white woman tears and pretend that she can just be a victim of any and everything that goes wrong in her life without taking accountability for her being dramatic and her making inflammatory statements. Because quite frankly, even though I dislike Modern Warrior, even though I think Lance is gross and disgusting in his own special type of way, this woman Chelsea has proven that she is the true villain in this story. And let me tell you why. Number one, Chelsea has made several TikToks that are still up on her page if you want to check, and others that have been deleted that you can also check. Trust me, they're all on TikTok. Everybody reposted them, so you can find it all, I promise you. And in all of those TikToks, she has specifically pointed out that she did not have informed consent. Basically, the whole point of all of this is saying that Lance is not only a cheater, but he failed to inform Chelsea and the other women that they were not the only people that he was sleeping with, and therefore they did not have informed consent. And if they had known that he was sleeping with other women, they would have not given him their consent to at least sleep with him unprotected, right? That's the whole... I don't know why these people have to make everything legal terms, why everyone needs to suddenly use terminology that doesn't really fit in these narratives for anyone else. But since they are since they have their own little morality, since they are their own police force, they need to use certain language because they're special. They're special. She not only did she didn't just get cheated on. No. It was worse than that. She didn't give her informed consent. That's literally like everybody who's gotten cheated on. None of them gave informed consent, truthfully, because none of them would have been with the person that was cheating on them in the first place. They would have been left had they known, right? But with her, suddenly it's, I didn't give my consent. I'm looking into the legality of things. That is inflammatory. So now you're claiming that he SA'd you? That's what it sounds like to me. That's what it sounds like to everyone. Just because you're not using the term SA doesn't mean that you aren't making inflammatory statements that can come back to bite you. Because you keep talking and you keep using terminology that straight up should not be used. Okay? And I watched this one lawyer on TikTok. I'm so sorry, I don't have her name. But she was saying that she was not only a victim of SA, but she looked up the statutes and everything. She looked up, and none of it made what Lance did SA or anything illegal. Was it wrong? Of course. Is he a dog? Yes. We can all agree on that. If you had left it at he's a dog, okay, I can take that. People can take that. But now you're trying to skew it into he's not only a dog, but he's done something criminal. He's done something that makes me even more of a victim than what I am already. I don't understand these people. I'm sorry, but people who continuously use their identity politics give off very much victim. You don't ever want to be in a position of power. That's why you always have to be oppressed. So then you can always cry and be a victim, because that is exactly what she has been doing. On this app, she has been crying and playing victim to something that she did not experience in this situation. That's not what happened. And everybody knows that's not what happened. Anybody who has common sense and lives in the real world knows that that's not what happened. You got cheated on, love. You got cheated on. And maybe her being cheated on, it really hurts. But going to these lengths to try to ruin this creator, to try to ruin this man that you were once in love with, by saying these inflammatory statements, that's not right. That's not okay. And that should not be allowed. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to let that slide. You can't just do that. Now, here is the other falsehood in this story. Honestly, I'm going to just start calling her a liar. And here's why. I don't like when people put out crazy narratives and don't correct people on what they assume. Everybody has assumed certain things about this woman's story that are completely false, that are not true. She knows that this narrative is out there because she's been on TikTok this entire time. And I promise she's been looking at all the comments. She's been watching all the videos. She knows. She knows what people think. And to not say anything, to not correct anyone, no, that's not okay. That to me says to me that you wanted this to be out there. So you lied. You lied, period. Anyways, part of the story was that she lost a child a year ago and that Lance really helped her through it, and that's why she formed such an emotional connection. And there's a specific video. It's the last video up on her page at the moment, but I'm not sure if it will be the last video up when I upload this, or if she will delete it, whatever the case may be. I think I will include a clip of that video, but she goes into extreme detail about how, she lost her child and how it was traumatic and how she went through a lot of turmoil and pain and still does. And I understand that. I had a lot of sympathy for her, even though I felt like she was sensationalizing the story, even though I felt like she was being dramatic. At the end of the day, losing a child is not good for anybody. Losing a baby really hurts. I've never gone through that. I never wish that upon my worst enemy, because it's traumatic. Through miscarriage, through whatever the case may be, losing a child is something that no one should go through. So hearing her pain was it was very jarring. It did hurt to hear her pain. Turns out she didn't lose a child. She aborted a child. She aborted the child. I just want that to sink in. She did not lose a child. She aborted a child. And now she's regretting aborting the child. That's what it is. She didn't want to do it, and she ended up doing it. You didn't lose a child because you could have kept the child. And her reasoning was, me and the dad didn't work out, and it just wouldn't. So I aborted the child. And I'll prove it later. Trust me, I have proof that she aborted this child. But she has not said that she aborted the child. She has made it seem as if she had a miscarriage, as if she just lost the pregnancy, as if the baby was just lost. No, you went in and you had the procedure done to have an abortion. If you're going to have an abortion, stand on it. Either way you are on the spectrum of how if you agree or disagree with abortion. If you're going to do it, if you've done it, stand on that. Stand on it. You are a grown woman. You are a grown woman who could have kept your child, and you, for whatever reason, said that you're not going to keep your child. Now you want to make it a sob story. Now you want to make it seem like you're the ultimate victim. You're not a victim of losing a child. It's actually making my blood boil, because I know women that have lost children, and losing a child versus aborting a child are two completely different things. And to say that you have lost a child that you aborted is disgusting. Point blank, period. I don't care what anyone has to say. That is gross behavior. Absolutely disgusting behavior. Do you know how many women are probably sympathizing with you right now because they have actually lost children? Because they have dealt with infertility, because they have dealt with years and years of pain from losing a child that they lost 20 years ago. There are women who are still mourning children that they lost 20 years ago. And you're going to sit on this app and you're going to make it seem like you didn't abort your child, which is what you did. That's what you did. You can't take that back. You can't deny it. You can't sit up here and try to make it seem like you lost the baby. You aborted the baby. So don't do that. You don't get to be in that circle. You don't get to be part of that community, because that's not what happened to you. If you lose a child in the future, then yes, you are a part of that community. But at this time right now, no, you are not part of that community. I think a lot of these women, they like to be part of communities that they will never be a part of. They like to insert themselves because they want to make themselves victims. This whole situation is the definition of white woman tears. White women love to play the victim. And with Chelsea in particular, she wants to be part of communities that she is not a part of, so that she can furthermore victimize herself and make everybody part of her team. That's what it boils down to. This woman is not a victim of SA to Lance Sosi. Point blank, period. That's just not what happened. That's not it. Is she a victim of SA? I don't know. I don't know her story. Maybe she is, and that is completely valid. But in this situation, that's not what happened. So you don't get to use this information to be part of that community. You don't get to use the situation to be part of that community to further your identity politics platform. And then on top of that, she wants to claim that she lost a child. You do not get to use losing a child to further your identity politics platform, because you did not lose the child, you aborted the child. That's what happened. You are not a mourning mother. quite frankly, because you, for whatever reason, did not want to be a mother. You did not want to be the mother of that child. Whether it be you felt like your back was against the wall, either way, you didn't want the child for whatever reason. You don't get to claim that suddenly you are a mourning mother. You don't get to do that. It's just not, no. No one's going to say anything to you on Mother's Day. No one, nothing. That's just how it works. All actions have reactions. You're not going to just be able to say, oh, I lost a baby. No. And this woman, what she's doing, and I've seen this time and time again, especially with, I'm going to be real, liberal white women, this is what they do. They will make themselves victims because they're not actually part of many communities that are oppressed. And they are infatuated, they are fascinated with the idea that there are people who are actually victims. And they want to be in that. They want to be victims. I'm serious. I've seen this amongst so many different white women, in particular, white liberal women. They identify with these struggles and the pain of people who are victims of oppression, are victims of terrible situations. And they see that they aren't victims of these things. They see that they aren't part of these groups. So they try to insert themselves through technicalities. And that's what this woman is doing. And it's gross behavior. It's gross, gross, gross behavior. Because at the end of the day, the people who are in those communities would do anything to not be part of that oppression, to not be the oppressed. So for you to take your privilege, to take your white woman tears and to put them to use so that you can claim that this man SA'd you when all he did was cheat on you, and to claim that you lost a child when all you did was abort the child. I mean, it speaks volumes. It speaks volumes. It says that she feels entitled to be a victim. She feels entitled to have people support. And she will do whatever and say whatever to get it, and don't you dare check her. Because then all she will do is call you a bigot. Then all she will do is call you whatever name in the book that they like to use. When in reality, she's the unhinged one. Absolutely unhinged one. To claim all of these things. Who in the world says that they lost a baby when they aborted it? Who does that? Except for someone who is unhinged and wants to be a victim and just wants sympathy and wants people to look at her and bring her and embrace her into communities, because that's all she really wants. She even talked about being alone. And I think that that's very fitting. She says, I've been alone all my life. Makes sense. So you want to be part of communities that you'll never be part of. You want to weasel your way into communities that you will never be part of. That's really all it is. Now, like I said earlier, Chelsea is not the only woman that has taken to TikTok and talked about the situation. Another prominent woman that has talked about it and a lot has gone on her TikTok is this woman that goes by the name of Anna. I think it's like Anna Banana or something like that. But she had posted about how she had the same story, how she saw Chelsea's story and, wasn't going to say anything, but she had the same story and it was about the same time. So they were both messing with Lance at the same time, which I don't know how. Okay, side note, I don't know how he's pulling. I'm sorry, I had to say that. I was like, huh? Like when I saw this, I was like, you're saying that he was pulling like 5 different women in his web at least. I'm like, what game does he spit? Because like looking at his TikToks, I'm like, what? I can't imagine it. I physically cannot. Okay, anyways, that's like neither here nor there, but that was important for me to say for my own sake, is like, I don't get how he's doing this. But anyways, so this other woman, and she was basically saying the same thing as far as the consent, she didn't have informed consent, she would not have been sleeping with him, unprotected if she had known, like all of these things. So basically claiming the same thing. But then all of a sudden, her story is changing. Suddenly, she's telling TikTok that Chelsea has been harassing her and telling her what to say and feeding her certain narratives that she doesn't want to put out there. Now, let me just go ahead and show you this video that Anna put out, and I think either later deleted or it might just not be available for me to see because her page is now private. But I believe that she might have deleted it. So let me just show you this video that she posted.
Because the truth needs to be told. The truth needs to be out this video all day. And I'm going to, because the truth needs to be told. The truth needs to be out there. And then I'm deleting TikTok and I'm taking a long break from this app because I'm tired of being used as a pawn by people with larger follower counts than me, banking on my kindness to cover up and not acknowledge their shitty fucking behavior. Chelsea is absolutely using this moment to defame an Indigenous man. These are her white woman tears. I denied that yesterday, thinking that I was protecting somebody who's a victim. She is as much as a victim as I am, and you don't see me posting on Instagram that I need to go to the hospital, that I am potentially pregnant with this man's baby, that I'm having thoughts about unaliving myself. All of this is for attention. Whether those things are true, she is posting about them to get your support, to get your sympathy, and to get followers. This is happening because she wants this attention. As soon as she found out that I could verify her experience with Lance, she has been calling me nonstop, yelling at me, pressuring me, telling me what to say, telling me what to do, telling me what to post, telling me what not to post, trying to control me and how I tell the truth about my experience with Lance. She is doing that intentionally. This is exactly what she wants, and I am not the only one who knows that. I had these concerns today and was feeling guilty, and I called to Verja to say, hey, I don't know what to do about this, and she has had the exact same concerns as I have had. She has been noticing the exact same things and has been dealing with the exact same behavior, and she's not the only other creator. The other creators just don't want to be known. Chelsea asked Verja to refer to her as the pregnant woman in Verja's videos. Because all this started to happen, I went, you know what? There's somebody else who knows Chelsea. I asked Lance. I just said, what was your experience like with Chelsea before giving anything away about what I was dealing with? And he said the exact same thing. And she honestly has verified all of it. Chelsea has verified all of it. She also said that she would call him nonstop, over and over, sobbing, crying, texting him constantly, always talking about unaliving herself, her mental health, everything. He said the same thing. Other creators have said the same thing. So for the past 3 days, not only have I been dealing with my own pain and own sadness, dealing with this whole situation, I am dealing with this woman screaming at me. I woke up at 7 a.m. today, her calling me and yelling at me. So I'm done. The truth is what needed to be out there. I needed to tell my story so that Lance didn't use his platform any longer to take advantage of women. That's what needed to be said. That is the truth that needed to be talked about, not everything else. So I'm fucking done. I'm done, and you guys all get to know what's going on, and I'm leaving this. Like, I'm not going to deal with this anymore because I can't tolerate being treated like this, being spoken to like this, and being taken advantage of like this. I don't deserve any of that.
And the behavior that Anna's talking about in her video as far as Chelsea on Instagram, you can go look. She has been going on complete rants on Instagram, talking about how she wanted to unalive herself, talking about all of these things, how she had to call him nonstop, how they were on the phone nonstop, all of these things that she's talking about. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, bro, this is absolutely insane behavior. It is like all of this behavior all together makes her look like unstable. I'm so serious when I say that. She seems unstable. I'm gonna show you this video that she posted, and I just need you to watch this. Now, this is going back to the abortion part, but I just need you to watch this and understand that this woman is unstable. And I think that Lance knows that and knew that she would like destroy herself. because he hasn't posted anything in days about this. And this has been like some of the biggest TikTok drama, at least as far as I'm concerned, or at least from what I've seen. It's been pretty huge TikTok drama. And it's been permeating through all communities, like all types of communities. The right-wingers who hated him, the left-wingers who loved him, the indigenous community, all of these communities that like he's touched, like it's been a huge deal. He hasn't said anything. Maybe because he knew that Chelsea is absolutely unhinged and it will come back to bite her. Like, because this woman is insane. I'm sorry, but like she's absolutely 100% insane. I like watching this back and seeing the lies and seeing what people have pointed out and then going back and looking, I'm like, she's crazy. And Anna, like, the fact that she's calling her and crying and screaming and all of these things to this woman that they were honestly strangers before this entire situation had happened. And now you're trying to tell her what to do and what to say? Yeah, she's crazy. And Lance knows that.
Sosie fully understood my desire for a committed relationship, my desire for exclusivity, and my difficulties with intimacy, which I repeatedly told him. And a month after this particular video that I just shared with you, he was asking me to send him things like this. After crying over the excruciating pain of losing a child. When I lost my child, I threw up from the pain of the contractions and fell asleep in a puddle of sweat. It was excruciating. Most of you will never understand the deep, primal changes that happen when a life grows inside of you. The sudden hormonal shift is astronomical, and it is even more astronomical to then have that life leave your body in tiny pieces. I was quite honestly repulsed by the idea of dating, except for with Lance Sosie. I absolutely never would have given my consent had I known I was not the only partner. These are the messages Lance would send me in full knowledge of my breakdowns. I made a reactionary post to finding out that my innermost traumas had not only been ignored, but violated so egregiously. I had already opened the box, and the tidal wave was coming. I said it in my first video. And for those of you saying, he just didn't like you that much, that makes it worse, don't you understand? A man has built his entire platform based off of anti-misogyny, anti-oppression, and he watched someone snot-nosed, drooling, crying over a dead baby to get in their pants.
Now, going from that video to this screenshot of someone DMing Chelsea, trying to share condolences, when turns out that she had an abortion. An abortion because the guy that she got pregnant by was a jerk. And they couldn't keep it. That was literally her reasoning. And suddenly, your baby is being ripped from you? How's the baby being ripped from you when you wanted this to happen? When you scheduled an appointment, when you went and laid down on the table and got an abortion. That's what happened. This is why I'm saying I think that she is unhinged. Because anybody who goes from having an abortion to making the entire situation about themselves, and turning a choice that was made into a chance to be a victim, that is unhinged behavior. That is completely unhinged. There's no other, it's either she's unhinged or she is a terrible human being. That's how badly I see this. Because you don't get to play around with stuff like this. And you don't get to play around, as Anna mentioned, you don't get to play around with someone, even though I honestly believe that Lance is a performative activist, and I completely think that he's a joke. Honestly, a joke of an activist. I've always believed this way before this even happened. Like, starting off all your videos by, "Hey, colonizer, you're a joke." Like, it's clownery. That's what it looks like to me. But even though Lance is a joke to me, you're still sending the indigenous community as a whole mountains of hate because they supported Lance. They supported Lance. Lance was speaking for their community. And although, I might not like what he said, and although I do think that he was being performative, there were a lot of people who supported him who are now also receiving hate, or who are now also looking bad because they supported this man because you're claiming that he basically SA'd you. When you start using terminology like informed consent, I didn't have the chance to fully give consent. Suddenly, that brings it to a whole different level where people who hate him will now be, they'll have a weapon. They have a weapon to use, and they will use it to the fullest extent. So I see all of this behavior. I see what she can do. And I'm like, there's no way that this woman is stable. Like, I just can't see it. It's either she's stable or she's just terrible. You take your pick. That's all that this situation is showing me, that this woman is either unstable or literally terrible. All in all, this is how I see it. This is how I see the situation. Lance gets involved with this woman, tells her what he wants her to hear, but he has other women on deck always. Has her fly out on her own money, on her own coin, to come see him. They do what they were talking about doing. She leaves, and then he goes on to the next. She gets mad, but she was never his girlfriend. He was never her boyfriend. They were never actually together, but she wanted it to happen and he didn't. There was a miscommunication and he dogged her and he played her. That's what happened. And he did it to multiple women, and he knows what he did, but they know that they need to make this worse than what it is to actually cancel him. So they go on to use the terms informed consent. Oh, I couldn't give full consent, when really all it was they got cheated on and they're lightweight embarrassed. Next thing you know, this woman is talking about, and he knew all of this about me losing a child when really she aborted the child. And basically he was dealing with a bunch of women just like him. A bunch of performative activists who have to qualify everything they say with a much bigger, greater, grander term than what it truly is. And he's met his match. Now they all have to deal with the consequences of all being absolutely insane people who are all annoying and unbearable, quite frankly. And they're all bringing each other down. I don't think that there's really anyone who's good in this situation. Like nobody, not even Anna. Because quite frankly, she's still going on with this narrative that, she couldn't give informed consent and this, that, and the fourth. Baby, you got cheated on. It's okay, love. Move on, grow. You can grow from this. Like, he's a dog. Say that. Say what you really feel. I feel like he shouldn't have cheated on me. If you said that, do you know how many people would support you? But because you're using this terminology, that's why people are going against you. That's why now you have to go against Chelsea. That's why Chelsea's doing all this, that, and the fourth. That's why all of this is happening, because y'all can't just stand on it and say what it truly is. We have to always speak in infograph language. It's annoying. It's disturbing. It's sickening. That's part of the reason why I could, like, the college system nowadays. I know this is like a random tangent, but the college system nowadays is just so annoying because everybody has to speak in an infograph. Why can't you just say things plainly and be a real human being? Everybody wants to be an activist. Nobody wants to be a real human being. You're going through real human being stuff. This isn't activism stuff. This isn't like oppression stuff. This is a man being a dog. Let's call it what it is. It's okay. You can say that. You can be a real person for once. But now that you're doing all of this, nobody has sympathy for you. Nobody feels bad for you. Now how do you look? These people need to really take a chill pill, slow down and realize what their platforms have turned them into. They have made themselves the morality police so badly, And to the point where now they won't have platforms at all. Because when they did have their platforms, this is what they did. This is the box that they put themselves in. And now everyone's holding them to their own standards, and they can't deal with it. They can't deal with it. They're gonna crack. He's cracking. The women are cracking. Chelsea, she's cracked. It's just all a mess. Why? Because these people are the type of people that always like to be on a higher morality ground than everybody else. Likes to sit on high horses. And then when it comes back to bite them, they don't know what to do. Suddenly they're much bigger and grander victims than we ever really knew. That's not what it is. It's not what it is. Anyways, that is it for this video. I'm sick and tired of these people. Please enjoy this obligatory picture of Justin Bieber as I close out. But yeah, those are my thoughts. I know I really went hard on Chelsea, but I feel like she's the one who's most wrong because I can't stand people who lie. I can't stand people who lie, and I can't stand people who lie to make people not just look worse, but look like literal, like, criminals. Like, that's just not okay. That's not okay, and I can't stand for it. And I especially can't stand for someone who pretends to lose a child when she didn't. Like, that's just gross to me. And any woman who does that, like, I truly think that you're disgusting, because that's not something to play with. And so for you to play like that is it's not okay. It's not okay. I really don't play like that, and there are certain things that I will really be upset by, and that's one of them. So I know I went hard on her, but I did it for a reason. And if you disagree or you don't like it, I really don't care at this point. But yeah, that's it for this video. If you did enjoy it, please go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. Go ahead and comment down below what you think of this entire situation. Like, there's so much to talk about with the situation. I didn't even touch a lot of the things that have happened, but it would just be too much info, and that, you know, I really had points that I really wanted to touch in this video. But if you have other things that you want to talk about the situation, please go ahead and comment that down below. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel, and turn on the post notifications so that you're notified of the next time that I post a video. And follow me on Twitter. My Twitter will be in the description below. And yeah, that is it for this video. Hopefully I post more. And yeah, you know what? Also suggest videos for me to make. If you want to see a video, just let me know. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.